call to order the meeting of the Maidencreek Township Board of Supervisors.
Recording in progress.
For June 9th, 2022. Would everybody please rise for pledge of allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. First of all, thank you everybody for coming tonight. We welcome you to our meeting. I want to make the announcement that there were executive sessions held on May 23rd and June 6th, 2022 for personnel reasons. Okay, so I'm looking for a motion to approve the meeting minutes for May 12th, regular meeting.
I'll make that motion to approve, and I know we have a corrected copy at our table, so make the motion. If I could just add one thing, we didn't approve the agenda.
Okay, so I guess we need to approve the agenda.
I'll make that motion.
We need to add to the agenda as well.
Yes, we need to add the Corrado professional development contract. So you need to make a motion to add it to the agenda.
Okay, can I make the motion then to say we'll approve the agenda with the addition of this professional services agreement?
Yes.
We added, okay. There you go.
Okay, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
No second.
Okay, all in favor, give your consent by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay. Now, I guess I need the motion to go ahead with the
Approval of the meeting minutes.
approval of the agenda, the whole agenda. Or did you do that?
No, I just did that.
Correct.
I combined it.
Correct.
Okay, so now we'll go for the approval of the meeting minutes.
And I'll make that motion that we approve the meeting minutes for the May 12th regular meeting, and there was a corrected copy at our table.
Yes.
What was the correction?
There was a typo on page 5 and clarification on page 6.
All right. I'll second that motion.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in approval?
Aye.
Aye. Motion to approve the treasurer's report and bill list for May of 2022.
So moved.
I'll second.
All in agreement, give your consent by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we're going to go to public comment. We would start with the front. And for those of you who are going to comment, I'm going to need you to tell us who you are, where you live, and you go ahead with your comment. First row. Second row. Third row. This will be pretty quick. Fourth row. Fifth row. Sixth row. Anybody outside? Okay.
They're golfing.
Anybody on the call?
Anybody with their hand up? No?
I don't see anybody. Okay.
Okay, so we'll move on to reports. And Chief, welcome back.
Thank you.
Our chief was just recently in France, so he brings the French whiskey wishes to us.
Any French wine?
Yeah.
He had to drink it before he got off the plane, though, right?
They allow you 2 bottles per person.
I'm sure it's fun by now.
No. That tends to go into my wine cellar and stay there for a few years till it matures, so that's not your...
Oh, so you brought immature wine.
Yeah.
Was it tough on the ride back?
It was in the luggage.
Sure it's properly handled.
Yes. All right, I'm just going to go over the May 2022 activity report. These numbers are going to be released on Monday at the normal meeting, but it's kind of I'll release the Maidencreek numbers. And I'm going to start putting these on our Facebook page as well. I'm going to start scanning this and putting it on the Facebook page. I know not everyone attends the might not have access to the numbers. So, without further ado, with May 2022 numbers for Maidencreek Township, our officers answered 300 calls for service, issued 97 citations. There were 92 traffic warnings given. That's out of 163 vehicle contacts total. There were 5 arrests made in Maidencreek. 14 crashes, 4 were reportable, 10 were non-reportable. We're getting, mileage was 5,055 miles, was put on the cars for Maidencreek Township, and 902.62 month hours of service was dedicated to Maidencreek Township. We had some vehicle issues as far as just your typical oil changes, tire rotations, PA inspection. One vehicle needed 4 new tires. That was a total of $1,549.85 for the month, which isn't too bad. Citations, fines collected for Maidencreek for May. Now keep in mind this is for fines that were issued prior to May. So it was $2,740.24 total for Maidencreek Township. We're still moving ahead on the body-worn cameras. While I was out, Bob Wood did a lot of good things. He also, one of the things he did was got the antenna mounted for our uploads from our camera systems to the web. So he got that in place. We're still waiting for the actual cameras to come. I'm told that's going to happen mid-June, so keep my fingers crossed, but I'm not going to hold my breath. As far as the 222 project, I see that's coming to a slow end. One of the things that I'm happy with is I see they got rid of the giant hump on 222 and 73. That's been taken care of. I understand they took they added a lot of macadam to that to try to level that out, and they're on their final paving. I was surprised to see that Schaefer Road wasn't open in 2 lanes when we came back, but I guess they're a little behind on that. And I believe that's all we have. Just a reminder about National Night Out is August 2nd over at Schuylkill Valley High School. We have joining us will be Fleetwood Police Department along with Hamburg Police Department, and the local fire departments and everything else. We have flyers. We've been putting out flyers. There's a link on the Facebook page that you can click on. You can download a flyer, or you can stop in the office. We've been handing them out. Fleetwood's been handing them out. We just gave Hamburg a big stack of them to hand out. If anyone wants to donate any time, we're still looking for volunteers. So if you have any youth organizations that would, I know sometimes they need certain hours for community hours or service hours to get whatever awards or whatever. I know my daughter needed that for honors classes for college. So if you have any students that need community hours, reach out to us, and I'm sure we can find something for them to do to volunteer to get those hours. So we're looking forward to a big one. We're hoping it's going to be at least as big as the one that was 2 years ago before COVID came. So got some catching up to do.
What time does it start?
I don't know off the top of my head. It's online. If you guys want to look online, it's online. I'll be there. For me, it starts at 9 o'clock in the morning. So I believe 5, but I'm not.
I think it's 6 to 9.
There you go. It's on the flyer.
It's got a flyer in there.
Yeah, 6 to 9. Yeah, I have a couple flyers if anybody wants any.
Thank you.
Sure.
Oh, that fireworks. That's good.
I'd also urge anyone that wants to have further in-depth things that what's happening in the police department to come to our police commission meetings that we have every month too. We don't get many in attendance, so it'd be nice to see some more people there and find out more what's going on with the police department. So,
And that'll be Monday night.
Monday night, yes, this Monday night. Okay.
Any questions? There's one.
I have one question. Are they putting turning lights in on 222 at 73 or just on 73?
There's a study being done. Apparently, for reasons I don't quite understand because I'm not into the politics of it all, everything's in place for the turning signals to be there. They just need to program the signals and have them there. So they required us to professionally ask them for a study, which a study can't be conducted until the project's done and then they see how things are going. But we would like to have left turn signals on 222. I just think it's, now instead of one lane, you're fighting 2 lanes or 3 lanes, depending, counting the turning lane. So I think that's important. So I don't see where they would have an issue with it, but they have to do a study and they have to wait until the project's completed so they can see the full effect of the project. So I guess they were going to be put in and then somehow there's a stop put to it. I don't understand that part of it.
Question too. I live on the part of 222 that it turns into 45 miles an hour, and then they get to the bypass, and I drive about 55 miles to 100 miles an hour past my house. And in fact, I watch every day tractor trailers racing each other to get to the bypass first. So I wanted to know, when are they going to change it so that it's 40 miles an hour the entire way? Because why is it turn 45 as soon as they get to the bridge, and then it's 45 miles an hour right
That would
past
be a
my house?
question for the PennDOT engineers who set this.
Okay, so should I call Mr. Kosiak and have him do it? And ask him, because I've actually spoken to him a couple of times.
If you know him, I mean,
I
maybe you might be.
don't know him, but I've spoken with him. Because the guy down here doesn't seem to really understand our issues, because I've talked to him too.
Right, well, I'm sure they have guidelines that they use to set the speed limits that they do throughout the entire Commonwealth of
Well, it
Pennsylvania.
used to be 55 miles an hour, and there were so
Yes.
many accidents, they actually lowered it to 45. And now it's 40 until we get right to the bridge, then it turns to 45, which is kind of ridiculous, especially since there's Dries Road, and there's no stop signs for anybody, just people are like, oh my God, I have to get out of Dries Road. That, it says Dries with GPS, but it's actually pronounced Dries.
Yeah, no, I'm very familiar with
D-R-I-E-S.
Dries Road, but there are stop signs at Dries Road on 222.
To come out, but
Yes.
no, but the guys, the tractor trailers that are coming down at like sometimes 75 miles an
On
hour,
Dries Road.
those people are scared to death to come out of there. They don't have a clue. Oh, and the arrows also need to be repainted because people are crossing straight across. And they're not supposed to anymore. They're supposed to either go right or left,
That we
but not
can-
straight across.
That we can deal with PennDOT,
Yeah, that's a PennDOT issue.
so,
So the arrows, but there are stop
Arrows.
signs there. We want to put stop signs on 222, so.
yeah, the stop signs will never go on 222.
Yeah, I realize that because, you know, it's PennDOT. But, you know, there should be actually a traffic light there in my
Well, you won't see those
I've
anymore.
lived there
Yeah.
since 2005. If you knew how many accidents there were in front of our house, and our neighbor used to be Bob Beazle, who passed away. He was a fire brigade person. He just passed away, and his wife just passed away. They were in their 90s. Bob was World War II Air Force, and he and I used to deal with all the accidents that used to happen. And it used to happen a lot when it was 55, and then they lowered it to 45. And that's after we talked to the policeman, like, you know, this is commercial and residential.
Well,
And
what
I know
is-
this was a race car area, there's books about it at Barnes and Noble, but you know what? People live here. And 45 miles an hour is ridiculous in front of houses.
Well,
People
it's a
walk
4-lane
there.
highway, and I can tell you right now, they're not gonna lower it to 35 mile an hour.
Well, I guess I'll take that up with politicians.
Yeah, you'll have to deal with it with PennDOT because it's
I
their
will.
highway. We
I'll
have
call
no,
Mr. Kosiak
we have no
and
jurisdiction
explain
over
the
that
issues.
at this point.
And I'll take pictures and send them to him. I have his email address.
Okay. Okay, anybody else? Yes, sir.
Real quick, something I've noticed over many years, northbound, 222, between, I think it's Schaefer, and all the way up to 662. That, to my understanding, is a 55 mile per hour speed limit area.
It
I
is.
don't believe there is any 55 mile per hour. There used to be right after Schaefer. There used to be one, I think it was taken down.
The speed limit sign.
Yeah, it's a constant
Well, the-
pain, so to speak, with people doing 40 to 45 because they don't know it's a 55.
What happens is the vehicle code is written so that if it's not posted, it's a 55 mile per hour speed zone. And that's written into the vehicle code. So that's under section 3362 if you want to look it up.
I actually understand that,
Okay.
absolutely. But I'm going to tell you, every 1 out of 3 cars don't, and they're
Oh.
usually in the front.
Yep, and I was just to a PennDOT meeting, the end of last month, where they were talking about 2 more roundabouts, going north on 222. So they're still in the study stages with those, and they want to make 4-lane highway from where we ended with our project
From Schaefer to Richmond.
all the way to the Kutztown bypass. So those are the plans, and, you know, they're looking at 2024 to 26 is their goal lines for those. They have a lot of land to acquire, they've got a lot of studies to do, and they've started those already. I believe there's gonna be a hearing, I believe it's been advertised already. So if anybody's interested in attending and talking about them, I can tell you this much. If you look at the roundabouts we have now, from what I see, there's not nearly as much traffic since they opened up the roadways and put the roundabouts in. I know there's gonna be some problems. The roundabouts are new to every one of us. And it's gonna be a learning experience, but the traffic at 662, since they put the roundabout in, has moved pretty gracefully. It's when you get somebody that stops at a yield sign and there's no traffic around, or somebody who just stops and sits, and, you know, the whole idea of traffic is to keep everything moving. And being able to use your foot, your arms to steer, your head to turn and look at the same time, to be able to move around these things. And the whole idea of a roundabout is keep traffic moving. So in the long run, once we all get used to them, they're gonna work well. But it's gonna take a while for that to occur. The roundabouts that are over here right now are only 1 lane each way. Once they open, they're gonna be 2 lanes each way. That'll be a challenge. The new roundabouts that they're going to be putting in at Richmond Road and Pleasant Hill are going to be smaller roundabouts than the ones we have. And that's to try to slow traffic down even more. So they're learning as they go, and they're trying to deal with things. As they go north, they're also gonna put a cement barrier in between. So that's something we don't have now. And one of the concerns they have, because I requested information on it, why weren't we? And it's for the businesses and the access to the businesses to turn around and get to them. So PennDOT's considering the businesses as well. It's not that they are not looking at everything else, but right now we haven't had the accidents. I don't believe in that section. And I know I've seen the police there myself. I've seen them in the roundabouts up here already, so I know they're out there. You're gonna have one heck of a job for a while when it opens up, and good luck.
I know they've issued a bunch of tickets for vehicles refusing to yield, because that's the biggest thing. Nobody seems to know what a yield sign is, whether it's coming onto a highway, a ramp on the highway, they think it's merged, it's not merged.
From 5 a.m. to about 7 a.m. is the worst time.
Or even the roundabouts, they just, like, nobody understands what yield means, or they just don't care. So we issued a lot of citations for yield signs. But unfortunately, we don't have the manpower to put somebody out there constantly. I mean, obviously they have calls for service they have to answer, so. And contrary to public opinion, we don't make a lot of money on traffic tickets. We make half of the fine goes to the township or the borough. That's it. So that isn't, and I hear all the time, oh, you could pay a guy out there, you would hire 3 guys, have them out there. Not even close. Like,
You guys could make a ton of money right now.
yeah,
The
and
problem
one
is-
person takes a hearing, and all that money's gone.
Yeah.
So that's,
The fine-
it's not there to make money, and that's why we don't have radar, because people are concerned that it'll be used as a moneymaker. That's why we're the only state in the entire country to not have radar.
Yeah.
So,
Sean, you
so it's not,
Not only are traffic crashes down in
Yes.
that stretch there with the 2 circles over, the severity of them.
yeah.
We used to get fatals a few times a year, real serious crashes, and they're mostly just fender benders anymore.
Yep.
So they are helping, it's just a little bit of annoyance. People get used to it.
educating people on it.
I just have one question. On Park Road, do you guys monitor the tractor trailers coming out without their loads covered? Because twice so far, the last 2 weeks, stuff flew off the truck onto my car.
Well, we do have officers who are mixed-up certified. I'm not mixed-up certified, and I know there's some, as far as your load being covered, that's not a 100% thing. It doesn't always have to be covered. There's certain criteria that they have to meet. I'm not 100% sure on that.
Some of the
I've
mushroom things
I've heard
are
our mixed-up
10
guys
feet
talk.
over the truck.
Yeah.
Are you talking about like mushroom stuff?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were like 10 feet over the truck, and you fly off the truck, and you hit my car twice so far.
Yeah.
And they've got special reservations too, because they're farm vehicles.
That's right.
So they have special exceptions for them. And I used to do mix-ups on them,
Yeah.
pretty familiar.
So,
Okay, so anyway, there's your update on 222 roundabouts and what we're looking to into the future. For those of you going to Allentown every day, you're gonna have a whole lot of travel trouble.
Premise Made Candies are putting in a roundabout, and I think the next intersection up, they're also putting in a roundabout
Yeah.
there. It's gonna be,
Yeah, Richmond Road.
yeah, it's gonna be.
So, okay. Anybody online? Nobody with a hand up. All right, thank you, Chief. And now imagine if you so desire, you can leave. Not that we're-
I'll stick around. I'll
Okay.
wait out in the lobby, my seat was taken, but I'll wait out in the lobby.
Okay,
Let's one up right front.
all right. Now we're gonna move on to our engineer.
Thank you. First item is the subdivision review status checklist, which is part of the report. Item number 1, we do have a lot of time extensions required for subdivisions. The first one is Redner's Quick Shop. That plan expires June 13th. The time extension was granted by the applicant through September 30th. The Planning Commission has recommended to the Board of Supervisors to accept that time extension. Board action would be required, if so desired, to grant that, or to accept that time extension.
So moved.
I'll second.
Okay, any questions? No? All in agreement?
Aye.
Next one is the Coffer subdivision. That plan expires June 10th. Time extension was granted by the applicant through September 9th, 2022. Planning Commission recommended to the Board of Supervisors to accept that time extension, with the applicant being notified that this would be the last time extension that the board would recommend to accept.
How long has that been going on?
This is 2020.
And I'm not sure, how are they moving forward with that, though?
They had the big thing with them is the on-site system due to nitrates, and them not allowing the nitrate plume to migrate off of their property. So,
Okay.
they are addressing that with DEP.
Okay.
Well, move that we grant the time extension to September 9th, 2020.
Motion, second?
Just the way it's worded here, that being the last.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I'll second it.
Okay, all in agreement?
Aye.
Aye.
The Trinity Bible Fellowship Land Development Plan expires June 6th. I think that's correct, because that time extension was actually received already, but they're granting that time extension through to August 11th. And the Planning Commission recommended that the Board of Supervisors accept that time extension.
To August 11th.
To August 11th.
Okay. So moved.
I'll second it.
All in agreement?
Aye.
Aye.
Maidencreek Associates Land Development Plan. This is the Wolfson Warehouse. That plan expires July 5th. At the time extensions were not received, so the Planning Commission had recommended that you reject the plan if time extension is not received. Since that time, you have received a time extension from the applicant. Applicant is granting the time extension through September 30th, 2022.
For the conditional use application.
No,
And then
this
there's,
is the first one, it's just the land development plan. Okay.
okay.
Okay, so do I have a motion for the,
Let me clarify. So this is for them to incorporate the comments and changes that you guys had.
Yes, this would be for it to go through the planning commission and continuing with the planning commission reviews. Yep.
and is the planning commission meeting in August?
Correct.
Okay. But not July?
Not July.
Okay.
And they're actually asking for both to be extended, both the conditional use and the land development plan.
Correct, but I think we should take those.
Well, no, I
separate.
agree, I'm just making a clarification. Well, I'll move that we grant the time extension for the preliminary land development application to September 30th, 2022.
Yeah, I'll second it.
All in agreement?
Aye.
And additional use hearing one on your list, or
It is,
there?
it's not,
So,
because it's an extension time review period,
I don't know if you want to solicit.
No.
No, it wasn't on the
No, it's
agenda.
not.
Okay, so then the time extension on the conditional use has also been negotiated and been extended by the applicant through September 30th also, where that hearing before the board has to occur.
Or at least, yeah, be scheduled.
You skip, actually have to have it by then.
What if there's more than one hearing date?
I think
Is
this.
each one then granting an extension to continue?
I believe as long as you hold that first hearing by this
September
date.
30th, right,
Yeah.
that's what
Yes, then the additional ones are approved and accepted by the applicant as you go along.
yeah, okay. I'll move that we grant an extension for the conditional use hearing to September 30th, 2022.
I'll second that.
All in agreement?
Aye.
Aye. I just have a question for you, Tom.
The agenda, you know, look over it. I think we should do that. Dave, so I think you should make a motion to add that to the agenda?
Yeah,
Or-
I was gonna do
okay,
that.
Before we have to vote on it. So
Yeah,
let's do
okay.
that first.
So I'm gonna make a motion that we add the conditional use application of Maidencreek Associates for an extension to September 30th to our agenda for this evening.
Sign the conditional use.
Okay.
Do I have a second?
I said second.
Okay, all in agreement?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, then,
Now we can vote again on it.
correct.
All right,
Okay, conditional use extension. I have a
so moved
motion.
to
Second.
September 30th, 2022.
Yes.
I'll second it.
Okay, in agreement? All right.
No
Aye.
problem.
Now, this says we must commence a hearing on the application up to and including August 31st, though? I mean, I'm looking at,
This is not something I handle.
okay,
Uh,
it's on the first page
Yeah, you just.
for Kaplan Stewart.
Well, they had granted an extension through August 31st.
Right.
Now they're extending that
Okay.
up through September 30th.
Okay, so that just extends it, right, so we have till
All right,
September.
And that,
So it's
maybe that was the reason why it wasn't on the agenda, because technically you don't have to act on this until.
Next month.
Right,
until
correct.
August. Right.
We added it, so.
it's taken care of.
Take
Yep.
care.
Okay, let me just,
Okay, then, for your information, I included in the package, the conditional use, review letter, the, traffic consultant's review letter, and the hydrogeologist, review letter, all consultants to the township. So all those are in your packet for your information that you can start to digest for the conditional use hearing.
Well, I was reading it, there's a lot of good information, and it is a public document, right?
Those are.
Those are, because I think our members of the audience that would be interested in reading the hydrological, geological, and traffic study and reviews pertaining to the proposed warehouse, application. So those are public documents, and these will be available to people who want to review them themselves. Because there are quite a few things in
Do we have to
there.
come in here for that, or is it?
Can we post them on the website, or, so that people can just, yeah.
We'll have to check that out if we can do that.
Okay. Because there's quite a few things in here that I'm, regarding the maximum height of the building. But there's a big thing about the traffic study, that the township was not afforded the opportunity to provide input for the scope and limits of the traffic input study, which is huge, which still is going to be, which still needs to occur. So there might be information like that that people might want to read about. and it includes our consultant, traffic engineer, and we also have the hydrogeological review also, so.
It's all good stuff.
Yeah, there's concern about the exceptional value status of Peters Creek watershed, which is adjacent to this 80-acre tract of land.
Okay, very good. Then going through their item zoning and code enforcement UCC report, activity report is attached to my report as item number 9. The memorandum of understanding with Pennsylvania DEP through the Berks County Conservation District. Basically, that memorandum of understanding actually dates back a number of years. And this is, every 5 years, they renew that. But this actually dates back, the first one back in 2012. Then you had an extension or a new one in 17. And this is the third memorandum of understanding with Berks County Conservation District regarding erosion and control, the submittal plans, and the permitting by the county for erosion and control. You do have a resolution I see in your packet. I don't know if you have a resolution number available.
There's not one listed on it, and we would need that to vote on it. Do you have a number?
I do not. I have it on the agenda as Resolution 15
15, okay.
of 2022.
There you go.
So,
All right. Is it ready to be adopted then in your opinion?
Yes, it is. It's standard issued by the county. All the other townships that I'm associated with all have adopted it without any amendments or any changes.
Okay.
Not that they would agree to those anyway.
All right, well then I move that we adopt Resolution 15-2022, which is a resolution of Board of Supervisors of the Township of Maidencreek, Berks County, Pennsylvania, entering into a memorandum of understanding with the Berks County Conservation District.
okay, we have a motion, do we have a second?
I'll second it.
All in agreement?
Aye.
Aye.
Then let me go back up to an item I skipped over. And that is the Pennsylvania DEP Growing Greener Plus grant applications that we discussed at your meeting. We are putting that paperwork together. We've actually reviewed to see what is eligible and what isn't eligible. We've broken it up into 2 different grant applications. The first grant application is for the Phase 2 work on the Willow Creek. And that work is estimated at total construction, design, permitting, construction administration, everything combined is estimated at $375,000. The grant would be $318,750 with a 15% match by the township of $56,250. Second project, the second grant application is for the Blandon Meadows Parkway, unnamed tributary to a Willow Creek, to do stream restoration, bank restoration. That construction activity is estimated at $200,000 with engineering, design, permitting, construction administration at 40, so a total project cost of $240,000. So your grant would be $204,000 and the 15% matching would be $36,000. So those are the grants that we are working on. Unfortunately, the grant specifically does not put dredging as an eligible cost. So dredging is something like that at the culvert. It's not going to be an eligible cost.
It's more restorative work.
Yeah. So, all right. I would ask for a motion tonight authorizing the chairman to sign any of the paperwork that is required for the submittal, which is due June 25th.
I'll make the motion.
Yeah, and there would be 2 applications.
2 applications,
Okay, I'll second
June
that.
25th.
June 20th.
So you'll need to sign it by
I'll be tracking you down, Dave.
Okay.
They know where you live.
Okay, I have a motion and second. Any discussion? All in agreement?
Aye. And I could add one thing, that you're gonna pursue other grant applications.
We are.
In case
We're investigating additional grants, yeah.
in case we don't get this one, or we find one that does driving advance.
The first, just give me the totals there. The first one you said, the first grant was 300 and what?
The grant amount or?
No,
total?
just the total, well, give me all the
Okay,
ones.
the total project cost is $375,000. The grant is $318,750. And the 15% match is $56,250. You want the second one?
Nope, I had that one, I was trying to catch up.
Gotcha.
Admitting somebody at the time and.
Okay, moving on. We received bids earlier in the week for the oil and chip for the roads behind the lake. Those bids for Ridge Road, Kemmerer Road, Hecktown Road, Burke Road, Kohler Road, and Troxel Road. Low bid was Asphalt Maintenance Solution for the amount of $229,716.17. And Martin Paving, second bid that was received, $240,936.24. We bid West Shore Drive as an additional alternate road. West Shore came in for asphalt maintenance solution at $61,852.80. Martin Paving came in at $66,585.60. Total bid for the base and the base roads and the alternate asphalt maintenance solution, $291,568.97, and Martin Paving, $307,521.84. So those were the bids that were received. I asked for a motion that the board accept those bids.
So moved.
No second.
Okay, all in agreement?
Aye.
Now, do you know Asphalt Maintenance Solutions?
Yes,
Are they,
very good.
okay,
They're very reputable, they've been around. It's always comes down between asphalt maintenance solution and Martin. So they fill it up basically, projects, so.
How about H&K, are they doing?
They don't do oil shit.
Oh,
So this does fall in to very nicely into our budget. We had budgeted $3.80 per square yard, and the applicant the low bid was $3.89. So this falls right into the budget of the project. With Keith's work doing the leveling and scratch coat work, and then also the widening that you approved, those numbers, without doing West Shore Drive, we should stay within our budget of $350,000. So I would recommend tonight that the board make a motion to award the base bid, items 1 through 6, to Asphalt Maintenance Solution in the amount of $229,716.17.
so moved.
I'll second it.
okay, any discussion? Okay, and we'll call for the vote.
Aye.
All in
Aye.
agreement? Aye.
Last item of business is the reapproval of the Blandon Mennonite Fellowship parking lot plan. This plan was previously approved condition upon completing the items on the system design engineering March 1st, 2022 review, which they have been working on, and I believe now is complete with the improvement agreements and everything being circulated. There was a note to be placed on the plan, that has been placed on the plan, so they need to, the board needs to reapprove that plan, because the recorder of deeds will only accept the plan to record that has been approved within 90 days.
Okay.
So that's the reason for the reapproval.
Have a motion.
I'll make that motion.
Second?
Second.
Okay, all in agreement?
Aye.
Aye.
So we have a proposal to change the name of the community park. If the board wants us to consider the name change, we can come up with a checklist of the process to actually complete that. So if you want to vote on that, we can do that. If you don't.
What is the process for information purposes?
So for us to spend time to define the process is what we're looking on today.
Well, I'm not so sure we want to change the name of the community park. The community park's the community park put together by the community. So I think it's for everybody. We do have a process where if somebody wants to have dedication, like a bench or tree planting or anything like that, we already have that in our processes. So that's where I stand on it, quite honestly. I don't know that we should be naming any parks other than our community park. It's a community park, folks. It's your park. It's everyone here.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I stand on it too. It's the contributions of the whole community that's what maintains it, and everybody that uses it, it's ours, it's the town's, so. You have a hand up.
Have a hand up? Okay, go ahead.
What's the name of it now that they would want to change to?
Community, well, it's a community park right now.
Maidencreek.
Maidencreek
Community
Park.
I'm not sure what the request to remove it was.
Yes.
May I ask what who put this forth and what the purpose is, if I may? You know, I'm wondering where this is coming from.
Okay, Joe?
Okay, well, it's not everybody, I did, I'll tell you why. Years back, for everybody knows the history, and Josh, I'm gonna tell you this, Dave, yes, it's a community park, Maidencreek Community Park, but let it be known, okay, if it wasn't for my wife and I, our legwork, the hard work, the organization of the neighborhood, the litigation we pursued, and stopping that creek from flooding out that development 3-4 times we were hit, we were the ones responsible for having that creek moved to its original position, where a farmer had that creek illegally moved, broke all kinds of DER, DEP rules doing it, okay? And historically flooded out the area. We have a resident there by the last name of Beckman, he passed away, but his son still lives there, who is a witness to this fact. When we pursued the litigation after everybody was being flooded out so many times, we got the newspaper involved, we had a meeting here. I met with Leo Gallagher at the top of the creek. Okay, where the flooding, the water came down and went through the whole damn development. I met him up there with the DER, the Army Corps of Engineers, the DEP, and I had the neighborhood up there. What started is, we went to a lawyer. We were having a class action suit in the making against the developer, the realtor, the builder, and whoever passed the residential zoning in an area that historically flooded out, and that was considered floodplain C. You never put a development in lower than the level of a creek. That was put in lower than the level of that creek, which flooded us out 3-4 times. So when we got the neighborhood organized, pursued the litigation, got the lawyer involved, who sent the letters everywhere, met up with Leo and those people I was telling you about up the top of the creek, we devised a plan to have that creek moved as a result of our plan, everybody, the flooding stopped, these homes were saved, the home values were saved. They were gonna be forced to buy back, our homes. That was gonna be a class action suit. Well, we saved the homes, we saved the neighborhood, we saved the flooding. Me and Gallagher had a dream of turning that into a recreational area. But the point was, you're not gonna be able to do that in an area that historically floods out. He wasn't gonna put any kind of plans in for a park or any other damn thing until the flooding was stopped. Once that was all taken care of, they started the plans for the park. Leo took off on the idea. We had the park in, and Josh, if it wasn't for us and our hard work on litigation, our legwork, that park, as you know today, wouldn't be there. Your ball field, where you coach your baseball, wouldn't be there. People wouldn't be enjoying the facilities there, and every other damn thing they use the park for the public's enjoyment. Yes, it's our community park, and we know that. My wife and I love the place. We walk our dog there all that. We walk around the park picking up litter all the time. If it was for us, that park wouldn't be there. I resigned from my position as township supervisor, and everybody here knows probably why. When I did that, I also kept Dave Brown on, because I know Dave 30-something years. My wife and I have been resident 34 years. We have a legacy in Maidencreek State, in the Maidencreek Township, for many things we've done for the community over the years, okay? And they would agree. The least we deserve, which is our due, for all we've done, to show something for our legacy, was not to change the name, but just, we asked in a kind way, why couldn't, in honor of what we've done, because we move from here someday, nobody's gonna know me or remember me from Adam. And I love this community, I love the park, we've done so much. All we're asking is to change it to Maidencreek Farley Community Park, in commemoration for what we've done. If it wasn't for us, and you laugh all you want, if it wasn't for us, that park wouldn't be there. Josh, you would be doing your baseball there. If it was for me, you wouldn't be sitting in that seat right now, Josh, voting against it. And Josh, I like you. I have nothing against you. Okay? But I gave up my seat, kept Dave Brown on as the alternate. Dave Brown, you, David Frank, you were voted in because of me keeping Dave Brown on. And that's the least I deserve in return, okay? If it was for me, you would be sitting there, Josh.
So you're throwing bribes up here at me right now?
Pardon?
That's a bribe?
That's not a bribe. Josh, are you looking at it as a bribe?
That's what you just said.
No, I'm saying the fact remains.
To me, renaming the park when everybody contributes to it, everybody uses it, is ludicrous.
Park.
I'm gonna come right out and say, I know it got brought up at the Parks and Rec meeting, and I never once said anything about siding with that. I don't know where that came from ever.
Josh, when I told you back here and I told you the history of it.
You told me the history of it, and I know
yeah,
it in my head.
I said we would like to see it rename Maidencreek Farley Community Park. You did. You said, yeah, I don't blame you, I understand.
I never said that.
Yes, you did, Josh.
No.
Well, Joe,
Never said that.
I would have no problem with you putting a bench there, putting a nice plaque on it. I think that would be tremendous.
No, but whatever, but, you know, and I'm
But I don't know that I want to change the name of the park.
Dave, I'm just making a point that if it was for us, that park wouldn't be there, okay? Now,
I
listen,
appreciate that, then.
I
Thank
like
you.
everybody here. I would have been a great township supervisor if I stayed on. I would have been probably the best township supervisor this township's ever seen if I stayed on. I got out for reasons.
Absolutely.
I got out for reasons. I got out for reasons we don't know, okay? Of the climate.
Okay,
And I got out on a good note, Dave.
So-
Whatever you want to do, but I appreciate some kind of commemoration for what we've done there.
if you want to get yourself a bench and put it in there, that would be great. Put a nice plaque on it. They have those things. We already have that in our allowances at this point.
Well, you know Dave Brown, right? Of course, we all do. Dave totally agrees. I talked to Dave the other day, he said, Joe, you were owed your due. You and your wife deserve that, to be renamed in your name. So, whatever, okay?
By the way, I'm Dawn Geschwint, I'm from Melrose Place Development. Joe, thank you very much for what you've done for the park, because it's a lovely park.
Oh, yeah.
And I will tell you that I appreciate the work. I used to live in Fleetwood. I was part of the group that made the Fleetwood Playground.
Right.
Okay, so I get it, I understand, and I appreciate
Yeah, I
that.
know you do, and I
But-
hope everybody here does, I'm not saying nothing
But
beyond
what you
that.
just said sounded a little bit like quid pro quo, and that's a little concerning. And I'm not in favor of changing the name of the Maidencreek Park, but that's my opinion.
No.
Josh, I didn't mean that as a bribe, I meant that as,
Quid pro quo.
if it was for what I've done, you would be sitting there, that's all I'm saying.
Okay,
Thank you, Josh.
So thanks,
so at this point, we're not gonna,
so thanks for voting against the guy.
So, on the agenda here is the public works. The road widening begins June 13th on Ridge Road.
okay.
Not really sure how that's on here, but
Can we solidify that stays the way it is from here on out?
sure.
There's a need to take a vote.
I'm saying we make a motion that Main Creek Park, Community Park
It-
stays
I don't-
named.
It's
Main
already
Creek.
there,
It's already
so
there, we don't need a vote.
Yeah, yeah, that won't be the.
we can make a vote to say we're not going to consider changing it, if you'd like to clarify it.
I think it stays the way it is, and that's it.
Yeah.
Okay, can we just, don't you have other things, we need to talk about
Yeah.
Toronto.
Correct. So we've got, basically what happened was the Corrado development, I believe it was ERH Southeast Real Estate Holdings, purchased the Corrado development through a sheriff's sale. It is not on the agenda, but it was
Oh,
on the
yeah.
agenda, we did add it. So there's a
That's done.
professional service agreement, and you guys have it, I gave that to you today, to review. They need to review a plan and bring it up to date. So you have that in front of you.
Does it have a dollar amount, or, oh, 1,500?
Mhm. Correct.
So, Mr. Unger, are you
Yes.
satisfied with that?
Okay, what the professional service agreement covers is for the township staff to meet with the applicant before the applicant officially submits his plan and establishes an escrow account for the planning review process. He had a number of questions as to the existing plan, what has transpired with the plan, going through bankruptcy with the plan, only phase one being constructed. Phase two and phase three, actually, the township and the applicant filed a revised plan taking phase two and phase three and basically unapproving it. So taking.
Because it expired, right? Or-
Well, no, it was recorded, the whole plan was recorded,
Okay,
but he only posted monies for phase one.
I see, okay.
So this way we protected the township and got phase two and phase three off the books.
okay.
So, like I say, he is proposing to develop the property. This was a meeting prior to him submitting the official plan and establishing an application and monies. So, it's just to protect the township.
Okay.
And he's looking at, how many homes in there? Is it 40?
He's looking at, if he follows through with it, his comment was that, I believe, it indicated to develop it in accordance with the original plan.
Okay, so he's not looking at the 80 that he was.
What was the original? They were single ones, right?
Yeah, that's what-
So it went from,
He,
That's where he's back
well,
to.
the previous applicant had come in and wanted to take all the singles,
Right.
divide them in half,
Right.
and put twins on them.
Yeah.
correct?
And we told him,
Okay.
uh-uh.
So now this guy
This
is the
goes
new
back
owner.
to the original
Mhm.
plan.
Gotcha, okay.
With the new owner now.
Yes.
Okay.
So he's gonna have to
He has to
do everything.
resubmit, we had discussed that he could probably request and get a preliminary / final plan
Mhm.
at one shot, since the plan was
Was already
previously
approved.
approved and previously done.
Right.
Basically, zoning has not changed. The only thing he's gonna have to bring up to today's regulations would be the EP.
DEP stormwater,
DEP
right?
stormwater
Right.
and the ENS and EDS permit,
Which have changed, so,
which have changed.
which will limit how much he can develop, how many homes he can put in there.
It's just gonna regulate, I believe, it's gonna end up regulating, his stormwater, how he, regulates the stormwater and controls the stormwater. I do not think that it will impact him losing lots. I'm not 100% sure.
Okay, well,
I don't think.
so whatever the ordinance say, that's what he has to.
That's where he has to
Okay.
follow.
Well, then I'll move we adopt the contract for professional services for BRH Southeast Real Estate Holdings LLC in the amount of $1,500 for professional services.
All right, I'll second it.
Okay, any discussion further? All in agreement?
Aye.
Aye.
I'm good now.
You're good?
That, yeah.
Okay.